Hi, everybody, and welcome to Chapter 12. In Chapter 12, we will be looking at issues regarding the regulation and management of technology by business. As always, please be sure to review the learning objectives of Chapter 12 and Week 12. This week, we're going to understand why the management and regulation of information technology is a challenge for governments and businesses. We're going to identify the various information technology interventions undertaken by governments. We're going to examine challenges businesses face in managing information about key stakeholders, including employees and customers. We're going to attempt to know the causes and what are the partial remedies to the problems of cybercrime. We're going to assess the emerging role and responsibility of the organization's chief information officer and organizational functions responsible to ensure information security and privacy. And lastly, we're going to identify international and national governmental efforts to combat cybercrime. As noted in the last chapter, technology moves so quickly that government and those concerned with the moral implications of the new technology have issues keeping up with the changes and consequences. While the Internet has provided the opportunity for expanding knowledge, a number of countries have attempted to censor its content. Furthermore, much of its content may actually involve violation of international and intellectual property laws. Just review Napster, YouTube, and some of the hacks that we have seen going on with HBO, Sony, and the like. Google ran into a cross-cultural contradiction ethical issue when it worked with China in blocking information and sites from the Chinese people. This did not play well in the United States. Other countries, particularly of the non-democratic variety, have engaged in aggressive censorship as well. The new technology and social networking and the Internet can be used also as a tool to quash political dissent, as we have seen from the methods employed throughout by a number of third world dictators. And we've also seen, and we read about it in the news continually, the impact of the Russian meddling in our election through the use of the Internet and social media. The question is the government doing a good job in protecting our information? Do we as individuals have a right to be forgotten once we have created an internet fingerprint? While the government has made some efforts to protect intellectual property and our privacy, we have come to find out that the government may actually be one of the most active violators of our privacy. Our data is valuable, and should we be able to expect businesses to protect it and not sell it without our permission? We are finding that this is becoming more and more of an issue for consumers when they find out that their information has been compromised either intentionally or unintentionally by those who control it. In terms of employees, our privacy is limited in the workplace in terms of our employers being able to monitor our activity. The question is not as clear when we are consumers. How much tracking should be allowed? How much should Google and YouTube know what we're doing when we are online? We all know that information is collected about us by folks we do business with. The million-dollar question is, how secure is that data? And given the number of recent data breaches, that should give us pause. The Internet provides a target-rich environment for criminal activity. Cyber thieves, phishers, spammers, and the like are becoming much more sophisticated in being able to separate us from our identity and our money. Many folks enjoy breaching sites for fun and profit. I have a son who goes to competitions periodically where they are paid by companies to attempt to hack into their systems as a means of security. Sometimes, though, the hacking is not as innocent as that. As noted, the economic cost is significant, and business and law enforcement struggle to keep up with new criminal threats. To this point, the law has come down on the side of the consumers when there has been violations. Business has been forced to take a more aggressive approach to cybersecurity given the significant financial and PR hits it can take when it is compromised. The issues of security, cybercrime, hacking, personal privacy, employee privacy has created the need for new specialized positions within organizations, and we have seen the birth of the chief information officers or chief information securities officers, wherein that individual's role is to take a proactive role in preventing and minimizing the damage from such threats. Slide 17 gives you an example of what some of these folks do. All right, well, that's a brief discussion of managing technology. We will talk with you again in our Chapter 13 lecture.